Welcome back. We have a shocking development tonight. I actually agree with Rand Paul. The Republican senatorial candidate seemed to hint at his support for legalizing drugs in an interview with a local news station in Kentucky.
I personally think we've been trying the federal solution, and there may be some good aspects to it, but it's also, we're still failing. We're not getting rid of the drug problem.
Well, that seems pretty clear. In the immortal words of Cypress Hill, he seems to be saying, legalize it. It's my best Cypress Hill. And that's the principal libertarian position. Don't get me wrong. Get the government out of our lives, and he has a compelling case that the federal government has screwed this one up entirely. It's not like we're winning the war on drugs. We were so close to completely agreeing until he came up with this bizarre explanation of what we should do instead about the drug problem.
You want rich people because they create jobs. If you punish rich people, they won't expand and create jobs.
Give money to rich people? What does that have to do with drugs? Unless Rand Paul's on some. But that's also the problem with libertarian ideology. It usually devolves into let the rich get richer and everything will magically fix itself. But his comments do lead to a discussion of the larger issue at hand. Should we legalize it? Joining me now to talk about that issue is former New Mexico Governor Gary Johnson. He's the honorary chairman of Our America Initiative. Governor, should we legalize it?
We should legalize marijuana. I think that 90% of the drug problem is prohibition-related, not use-related. And when I talk about legalizing marijuana, it's never going to be legal for kids to smoke marijuana. It's never going to be legal to smoke pot, become impaired, get behind the wheel of a car. I think that we should make the same comparisons to alcohol that exist with marijuana. And regarding all the other drugs, I would suggest that we adopt harm reduction strategies, which is looking at the issue first as a health issue rather than a criminal justice issue. Half of what we spend on law enforcement, the courts, and the prisons is drug-related. And what are we getting for all that? Well, we're arresting 1.8 million people a year in this country on drug-related crime.
But the governor, the issue seems to be that if the Democrats ever propose this, the Republicans would demagogue it, honestly. Is that false, or is there any way that might change where Republicans come around to it?
Yeah, no, that's not my experience. My experience is this is not a party issue. It's an issue with everybody that's in elected office. Everybody that's in elected office won't touch this. This is the emperor that has no clothes, and nobody wants to touch it. But I think the people are way ahead of this. And of course, it's on the ballot in California to legalize it this fall, control it, regulate it, tax it. Pew Foundation estimated that the cost of marijuana would drop from $380 to $38 an ounce with a 50% tax on that. So I look at this from a cost-benefit analysis. What are we spending and what are we getting? And of course, there is the human toll involved in this. The situation with drug abuse is that it's always made worse because it's criminal.
So how do we get the politicians to flip? Because you're right, the whole country's getting there. California's there. Many other states are beginning that process. But we just can't move the politicians. They won't. Look, prohibition didn't work for alcohol, and we realized that fairly quickly and changed it. But now we have this mindset in this country that if we're going down the wrong path, we have to stay there. How do we change there?
You know what? I think the issue is at a tipping point. During the last general election, Massachusetts voted to decriminalize pot by a vote of 65 to 35. I've smoked marijuana. I've drank alcohol in my life. I don't do either today, but I will tell you from my own experience that marijuana is safer than alcohol. Citizens of Denver got to vote on decriminalizing marijuana on the basis of marijuana being safer than alcohol. 600,000 Denver citizens agree with me on that one. So I think it is at a tipping point, and people are ahead of the politicians on this one. And it's still going to happen. It's going to happen. I think statistically we're about 2.5 years from 50% of Americans actually understanding this. From my own experience, it's really thin ice, that with just a little bit of knowledge on this issue, people seem to move on this issue. People seem to be embracing this notion of, gee, it's not working. We really have to do something different.
Well, it's good to see former politicians getting on board for that, and Republicans, et cetera. So thank you for joining us. Really appreciate the conversation.
Well, and I'll just tell you, too, in office, I espouse this. I looked at it hard in 1999 and really came to this conclusion while in office, trying to implement this change then.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.